technically just flipped and flipped to the Georgia Bulldogs. Kid from Tennessee came down to LSU to camp. LSU offered. He committed about a week later. LSU was high on him when he had camped. Had been a commitment since the summer. Flips today. And look, I understand the want to freak out. Okay? I get it. But I also saw a lot of you yesterday freaking out that JoJo Stone decommitted. And then when you saw Draylon Miller at A&M decommitted, you're like, oh, well, he was just at LSU. So were guys like Terry Bussey. I digress. It's never great when you have a recruit not only flip from your team, but go to a team that you will more than likely have to face off if you do get to an SEC championship game. That stings. But I'm going to tell you something that people that live in the moment, I guess, don't remember. Technically, Brian Kelly has already had 2 signing classes. The first one was the Will Campbell class, and this past year's class with guys like Caleb Jackson, Toviano, Lansard, etc. Brian Kelly was still the head coach. When that class, that first top 5 class, he was technically the guy that was the head coach during then. I get it. Blake, you can't do that. That class is pretty much locked down. Whatever. But what I can do is last year, he had another top 5 class. A lot of big-time freshmen in that class that I think that are going to play and be really good. Lance Hurd is the one that I do believe has shown the most impact because of the position he plays. Because, look, if Caleb Jackson didn't play, you still have a really good running back core. If Emory Jones goes down, you could have had an issue at right tackle. Lance Hurd comes in. LSU, when they got the commitment from C.J. Jackson, the edge rusher from Georgia, just outside Atlanta, in Tucker, LSU moved all the way up to number 6, and everybody's like, yeah, here comes BK. BK can recruit, baby. We just had Bryce Underwood on campus, Corey Moore, and Blake, you know what? I know you did his commitment video. I know you were there doing live streaming it, but they were in the house. You heard me. Then Andre Evans decommits. JoJo Stone decommits. Oh, my God, what's happening? Calm. Right now, there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that have not been reported on. Maybe the little whispers have not been hitting the airways or Twitter or whatever. It stings with Evans because your DB unit hasn't played very well. And I get that. Doesn't mean that Brian Kelly, and at least in his time at LSU, has not shown that when something is broken, that he is not going to do what he needs to do and do every single thing that he needs to do to get it fixed. Let me explain. What were the issues for LSU last year? Special teams. Thank you for answering. Brian Kelly got hands-on there. And when he got hands-on, now this year, guys, special teams-wise, you've been pretty freaking good. You had one muff punt. You missed a 49-yard field goal. Okay. You missed another one that went over the upright. Ramos has still been really effective and pretty damn good kicking the football. Just last week, Caleb Jackson took 160 yards on the kickoff return. When Brian Kelly got hands-on, he made some changes. Bob Diaco comes in. Special teams have been, I don't want to say great, fantastic. They've been pretty solid. Last year, when Jaden Daniels, around this time, against Auburn, threw for 80 yards. You know, what the funny thing is about that is the next week, there was a team named Florida that Jaden Daniels played where he scored 5 tutties because then Brian Kelly started getting a little bit more hands-on. He was hands-on with the offense all offseason during the spring. you arguably have the best offense in the country. And I don't really think that that is up for debate at this point. But I told you 2 weeks ago after Missouri, I told you after Ole Miss, what I was begging Brian Kelly to do, begging for Brian Kelly to do, was be more hands-on defensively. I'm here tonight to tell you that he has been. Talking to people up there, I'm begging, Coach, you're too freaking good. Brian Kelly is too freaking good of a head coach not to be more hands-on defensively. Pete Jenkins comes in, does some things that he needs to do. Things over the last 7 quarters have not looked terribly bad. You've played 2 games in Missouri and Auburn, and in those 2 combined games, since Brian Kelly has been hands-on, you have less missed tackles in those 2 games than you had all of Ole Miss. Actually, you're not even in the double digits yet in missed tackles, even in Missouri, and even technically in Auburn. Pro Football Focus with that stat. Same goes for recruiting. Same goes for recruiting. A lot can be said about Brian Kelly. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. Some of that warrants argument and debate. And I'm not going to say that it doesn't. What I am going to say is when the man sees something broken, he normally goes and fixes it. I think he's going to do it again. Recruiting is a nasty business. But I will tell you, do not give up on this recruiting class yet. Because there's going to be changes. There's going to be things that are going to happen where you're going to sit back and say to yourself, oh, shit. Wait, I know that guy committed over there, but he's coming over here now? Oh. Be calm, be patient. In a fast food society, that's what our society is. We're a fast food society, and I am one of them, right? Like, I get aggravated when I got to wait in line at a traffic light. Like, somebody, light turns green and they're not, half a second goes by, they're not moving. I'm like, like, let's go. Gotta go. Calm. Because recruiting is not a fast food society. It is a ribeye steak, or in some cases, for shitty recruiting classes, it could be just, rump roast. Just all depends. Be calm. Because what's going to happen in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, however long it takes, and you start seeing some things pop, don't come back up in here and saying, hey, man, I told you guys about BK. I told you guys about BK in recruiting. You were at number 6, literally Monday. And you're not going to be far off of that soon, I promise you.